Welcome to Old Times is Not Forgotten. Today, I am just going to read you the newspaper articles. We will be reading selected stories from 1929 from the newspaper The Tampa Daily Times from Tampa, Florida. Tex tells Chicago of California law. Chicago, November 8, 1929. Tex Guinan, ex-queen of Broadway nightclubs and of Come On Sucker fame, came to Chicago for a rest and some vaudeville after a recent tiff with the federal prohibitions officials. Admitting that she will soon return to California to make 2 more movies, she had this to say of the Golden State. They have a law out there called the Right Law. It allows anybody to come into your home and go through it any time. I had got my family parked in a big house out there when these agents dropped around. I wouldn't let 'em in. "If you come in, there'll be shootin'," said I. "If you kill me, you'll swing. If I kill you, I've got the United States government to back me." And I told 'em I wouldn't let the mayor of Los Angeles himself into my house like that. The next day, big headline said, "Tex threatens to shoot mayor."
Haywood Broun, Texas Guinan, and Frank Gilmore get together in early 30s on Broun's proposal to have actors share profits of Broadway musical Shoot the Works. Says Texas.
Haywood, there's so many people who love you, and so many actors whose success you're responsible for, that I know your show is really going to be a great big hit. And there's one thing that I must say about France. They never see an actor in France with a big head. You know why? They cut it right off.
Broun, Guinan, and Gilmore, greats of an era.
Tampa offers Swanson in Trespassers. Gloria Swanson will be seen in her first all-talking production, The Trespasser, at the Tampa Theater, opening tomorrow and to run through Wednesday. The Gloria Swanson of Cecil B. DeMille days appears to be returning to the screen as in her first all-talking hit, The Trespassers. No less than 10 changes of gowns and 5 styles of headdresses are promised those who follow fashions on the screen. Miss Swanson tells of the intense study of fashions of the future made necessary because the dress worn while producing the picture will not be seen for 6 months, and so must be that much ahead of the styles. He stole a bull and away he run. Here's a rival for Tom Tom the Piper's son. A page was taken from the Mother Goose nursery rhymes in county court this morning when J.H. Peel was arrested for a preliminary hearing on a charge of petty larceny of 1 bull yearling. Peel's case was continued until October 15th, perhaps to allow the court time to seek a precedence from Mother Goose herself. Hammer falls on 78 cars. Automobiles for $5 for anything and everything the highest bidder offers. They've been selling like hotcakes all morning down at Elme and 13th Street, where the police department is auctioning off the ancient and abandoned wrecks it has gathered up during the past 2 years. With T.D. Red McGee wielding the hammer, bidding was still brisk when the sale was halted for lunch. Junk dealers predominated. All told, there are 76 cars to be disposed of. Christian patience. She joined the church, and while she was joining, the law waited respectfully and then arrested her. It all happened when Mrs. M.K. Christian, policewoman, espied Mrs. Willie Hayes on Florida Avenue Sunday night. Mrs. Hayes, they say, fools with narcotics, and up until Sunday had successfully eluded the combined efforts of the police and the federal narcotic agents to catch her. When Mrs. Christian saw her, she started after her, and Mrs. Hayes ran. She ran seeking sanctuary into the open door of the Palm Avenue Baptist Church. Well, at that precise moment, the Reverend A.M. Bennett was exhorting sinners to come forward and repent. Up the aisle moved Mrs. Hayes, with an eager light in her eye, which Dr. Bennett readily mistook for the light of penitence. Dr. Bennett came down to meet her with an extended hand. He led her to the sinner's seat, and she joined the church. Outside, infinitely patient, waited policewoman Christian. Around Mrs. Hayes crowded her new brothers and sisters, congratulating her, wringing her hand. Mrs. Hayes beamed. Eventually, church was over. Mrs. Hayes left with the rest of the flock, and Mrs. Christian, policewoman, her patience rewarded, arrested her and led her off to jail, where, for want of a $25 fine, Mrs. Hayes still is. Garcia's Restaurant, famous throughout the nation, will reopen Wednesday, September 25th. Famous chefs, masters of the culinary arts of Barcelona and Madrid, will again start Wednesday, serve you with famous Spanish and American dishes that have set the restaurant apart from all others. Everything fresh and clean. Special Spanish dinner, $1.50, 1324 Franklin Street. Wow, this story tells of how tough it was to be a thief in the 1920s. Bandit slain from peephole after he robbed theater. Chicago, September 30th, 1929. A peephole in a wall, a hole just large enough for a revolver barrel, ended a bandit's career in McVicker's Theater last night, while a packed house thrilled at make-believe on the silver screen. The thief, unidentified as yet, had planned well, but the peephole he knew nothing, and it was his undoing. He was striding confidently toward the outer door of the manager's office with $45,000 of the theater's money in his pocket, when flames snaked from the hole in the wall and 2 bullets entered his head. McVicker's is one of the downtown Chicago's largest picture theaters. It was filled to capacity, and long lines stood on the sidewalks waiting to enter. The manager's office is on the mezzanine floor. The assistant manager, Bernard Cobb, had just received the box office receipts from a girl cashier. Taking the money at the point of a gun, the thief ordered the theater employees into an adjoining office and locked the door. He himself moved toward the exit. Cobb, in the inner office, snatched up a pistol from a desk and went to the peephole, made especially for such an emergency. He sighted the robber, poked the weapon through the hole, and pulled the trigger. 3 years ago, McGiver was robbed of $9,000 in a similar manner. The idea of the peephole was a result of that holdup. This newspaper, the Tampa Daily Times, was very clever by putting baseball scores on their building. Why go to Chicago or Philadelphia? It has been ready for a week now. The Times' big baseball scoreboard, ready for the thrilling cry of "Play ball!" Let's see what movies are playing in the Tampa theaters. Hot for Paris with Victor McLagan. All seats 25 cents, children 10 cents, at the Park Theater. At the Seminole Theater, He Talks, John Barrymore, in his first talking picture, General Crack, all talking. At the Franklin Theater, Last Times Today, Richard Bartholomew in Son of the Gods, another all-talking